Welcome back to the ChessGoals YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to go over a game by VIP ChessGoals member Birdsell. This is a 45 plus 45 league game, and Birdsell has the black pieces. And this is going to be in the Math Strats format. So Math Strats are short little videos where we talk about middle game strategy, hit on just a couple key points, and hopefully you have some quick takeaways for your games. So in this game, Birdsell played knight to a5. See the knight heading out here, and it's white to move. So even though Birdsell's playing black, this Matt Strats is from the white point of view. So what I want you guys to do here is take a moment and evaluate the imbalances. I want you to think about the best move for white and try to put a stockfish evaluation on that best move as well. Right? So go down a couple different candidate moves, think about the imbalances, put an evaluation on the move, and then pause the video after this so that you have time to think about it and put your comments in the YouTube comment section below and let me know what you think about the position, which move you think is best, and what the eval is. And keep in mind, there's a very important decision here. Should white capture the rook on e4? I think that's kind of the biggest decision in the position. Do you capture the rook on e4, or is there a better move? So go ahead and pause the video now, think through those options, and write your notes in the comments below. And in a few seconds, I'm going to go through the answer. All right, so in the game, let's first look at what white played. White played pawn to f3. Okay, so pawn to f3 kicks the rook on e4. And here Birdsell played the correct move. Rook takes e3. This was a great choice. And what he's doing here is he's locking in this advantage of good knight against bad bishop. So after rook takes e3, bishop takes e3. Now Birdsell plays knight to c4, and let's stop for a second here and calculate the imbalances. So everything got traded off. Now we're in kind of this stable position. That's a good point to start to think about the imbalances and put an evaluation on the position. So we have this monster knight on c4. It controls a lot of squares. It's an outpost because it's defended by the d pawn, and it cannot be kicked from c4. White has this bad bishop on e3. It's bad because it runs into these two pawns. This pawn on d4 is stuck. It can never push forward. And that bishop cannot attack any of the black pawns. All the black pawns are safe. So if you add all of those up, if you gave black an advantage between -1 and -1.5, you did a really nice job. The advantage is somewhere in that range, 1 pawn to 1.5 for black, due to this knight versus bishop imbalance and the fact that pawns are locked in the center. That helps the imbalance as well for black. So now let's just kind of see how this game played out, because this was a masterclass by Birdsell and it's very short. White played bishop c1. Birdsell prepares to bring the king in. And after f4 was played, Birdsell can play f5 immediately. It's a nice way to lock down the pawns. Put those white pawns on dark squares, trapping in this bishop behind the pawns. Birdsell played king f7 first, which is okay. King e6, and now f5 at the critical moment before white gets f5 in and secures that pawn with g4. Very nicely done, Birdsell. White captures, Birdsell takes back, and then look at this. Birdsell puts all of his pawns on light squares, finally plays h5 in the end, and the opponent resigns because he's in Zugzwang. This bishop has no good moves, and if the king moves either direction for white, the black king will enter the other direction. Just complete domination in a knight versus bishop imbalance. This is my favorite imbalance in chess, I think. A really strong knight against a bad bishop. And I love how this game played out. Very smooth win by Birdsell. So now let's go back to the initial position where white played f3. If you said the strongest move was rook takes e4, you are correct. That's the best move. And the reason this is the best move is because black has to eventually move this pawn off of d5. So let's say rook takes e4 by black, rook takes back, pawn takes. Now, even though this knight can still sit on c4, there's more flexibility for white, right? This knight sits here, this pawn can still move, and that allows this bishop a little more freedom. This pawn could also become a bit of a target. So if you gave this a stockfish evaluation of around half a pawn for white, maybe a quarter of a pawn for white, you did a really nice job. I think even if you said the evaluation was equal here, I think that's acceptable as well. So somewhere in the 0 to 0.5 range for white as a white advantage, that's correct. So this was a nice imbalance, knight versus bishop. I hope you guys kind of appreciated that. The fact that black needs to trade on e3, force that imbalance of knight versus bishop, get the rooks off the board, and white needs to be the one to capture to get that d pawn to move off of d5, bringing a little more flexibility into the position to help out the bishop. All right, I'm interested to see what you guys put in the comments. It's been a little while since we've done Matt's strats, and let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.